Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands on SAP Dev, live with me, DJ Q Macro, again, Friday, 8 o'clock. Welcome to Luis and to Niels and to Helmut. Good morning. It's great to have you on board, everybody. While I was waiting, I discovered, I thought, in the chat area in my sort of YouTube studio, where I type in the chat, I thought, it's a strange icon. It looks like some statistics. I thought, I'll just click on that, and it allowed me to create a poll. So I've created a poll. It's quite good. So put in the poll what your answer is, whether you've used. I'm just curious. I mean, it was just to try out a poll, really. I don't really mind whether you've used the core service APIs or not. But a poll. Who knew? So there we go. We're learning things all the time. So yeah, welcome. We're going to spend this next hour together looking at the cloud management service and looking at the core service APIs. There's one in particular I've got in mind to play around with. Let's focus on one. And it's sort of like a follow-on, really, from what we've been doing last week, which is the BTP CLI and the JSON format and so on. Okay, so we'll dive in or slide into the water slowly because of that. Oh, my phone is dinging. Because of that, we'll do that. And good morning, Ronnie, Mr. Stickers. Good morning. By the way, some of you may have seen Christian Drum and John Murray have posted about the stickers I've sent them. If anybody wants any stickers, just DM me on Twitter with a private message with your address, work address, home address, whatever you want. I'm going to use the address on the envelope and then throw the address away. So don't worry about that. And I'll send you some stickers. So I've got some Hands on SAP Dev stickers left. I've got some developers.sap.com stickers left. That's pretty much it, really. Santiago, good morning. So I've got my coffee. It is. I'm trying out the this thing. I was doing it on my phone. It's a bit small on my phone, but I've now got my old tablet, my trusty Nexus 9 tablet. It's still brilliant. A bit slow, but still brilliant. So I've got that propped up in front of me. I can see the chat a little bit better than on my phone, which was a bit small. So, let's get going. How are you all this morning? Let me switch to the main scene. There's the poll down there, that little clicky thing. Create a poll. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do now. End poll? Yeah, shall I end poll? Yeah, there we go. Maha, good morning, Maha. There we go, end poll. I'm not sure what that does. Anyway, where are we? We are, it's 8:03. We are on the BTP trial, the regular trial account, and we're doing Hands on SAP Dev. I'm logged in as Hands on SAP Dev. What I want to talk about, really, and explore with you is, oh, hold on. I'm not seeing all the chat here. How do I see the chat? Yeah, let me switch back to intro a minute. Why can't I see the chat? Oh, live chat. There we go. Just switch to live chat. John Murray, good morning. I can see John Murray, who has just joined. Wonderful. I am learning all the time, this YouTube thing. Very good. Poll complete. 16 votes. Have you used any of the core service APIs? No. Yes. So most of you haven't. Some of you have, which is really cool. So the core service APIs, basically these things here. When you log into your trial account, or any account really, there's some quick tool access here, and we can have a link to the APIs for SAP BTP, right? So we're taken to a nice place. Let me just log in here as well. A nice place in the API Business Hub, the API Hub, I'm going to call it probably. And we can see there we've got the title. This is where I got the title from: Core Services for SAP BTP. Manage, build, and extend the core capabilities of SAP BTP. And you can see that there are different sort of terminology is a little bit odd here in my brain. I would call these like a group of APIs or a group of API endpoints, okay, rather than just an API. I don't know though, who knows? What we're all friends together. So I'm going to pick on, for example, which is because I'm picking us deliberately because this has got the API endpoint that I want to play around with deliberately. The entitlements. We got the account. Let's just explore a little bit. The account service, and if we look at the API reference, we can see we've got endpoints to do with directory operations on the global account and on the sub account, and also job management. Okay, I mean job management is like a common thing. You can set off jobs because things run in the background. Remember when we were doing the BTP CLI, things happen in the background, and we can manage that through jobs. But I'm going to go back to the top here and look at the. Let's look at the provisioning service. I don't know what's that. API reference. Oh yeah, okay. Environments. What environments are available to be provisioned? Okay, like a Cloud Foundry environment or Kima environment, and so on, and quota as well. What service plan assignments are possible, and so on. Right. So I'm going to go back again, and I'm just Helmut. We don't. Sorry. Thanks, Helmut. So, see, I threw myself. I thought, I'm going to regret going back to the intro because I'm going to forget I'm still in intro. And while I'm showing my screen, thank you, Helmut, for keeping me straight. The screen is not visible. Hopefully it is now. There we go. What a fool. I need more coffee. So what I was showing you was we were having a look at the accounts service. We've got the API reference there. We got global accounts, sub account, and directory operations. And we've got in the provisioning service, for example, we've got in the API reference, we've got environments and quotas. Okay, but the sort of the bucket of APIs I want to look at today is in the area of entitlements, manage product entitlements and assignments across your global account directories and sub account. But this entitlement service also includes, as well as sort of managing assignments and entitlements and so on, it also includes regions, global account, something a bit bigger, global account allowed data centers. Okay. Good morning, Hussein. Good morning. How are you? Welcome. So we're going to look at this one. And the reason we're going to look at this one, because it's a nice simple one for the brain. And it sort of goes back to what we've been playing with in the BTP CLI. So why is this area a nice follow-on subject for following on from the BTP CLI? Can anybody guess? Let's have a look what this does. This gets all the data centers that are available for the global account, including information such as names, regions, Now, does that ring a bell? Well, let's see. Put in the chat what you think the relevance to the BTP CLI is for this or for any of the core service APIs, really. But I'm going to go, while we think, I'm going to go and BTP, I'm going to log in using my little login script. By the way, I've got a BTP login thing, type BTP login, and that's a script which, I use different trial accounts because I've got different things going on and, hands on SAP Dev and this thing and that thing. So, I use multiple, but then I store all my account information and my passwords in a secure password store, which is, of course, pass, the command line password store. A little bit like 1Password or whatever, but it's just, a Unixy thing. So that's that. So I can say BTP login, and then I can say hands on SAP Dev, which is, one of the trial accounts, which I, got with qmacro plus hands on SAP Dev at gmail.com. And that will ask me for my, general passphrase to unlock my pass thing. What is it? Oh yeah. And then it pulls out the information from there and logs me in. So there we go. So let's have a look at where we are there. BTP get accounts, global account, and let's look at this. I should really put this in an alias because I do this all the time. this is where we left off, right? This is our normal thing. You know, we were playing around with directories and, you know, sub accounts within directories and everything. Now, if we did this, right? It was a BTP list accounts available environments, right? Available environments. And it's slightly distracting with this tablet, because I can see the chat, but I can also see, delayed by 20 seconds, what I'm doing. I might put a piece of paper over that next time, so I don't have to look at it. Anyway, we've got a list of the available environments that we can use, where we can create sub-accounts, right? And we've got a Cloud Foundry capable environment, and we've also got environments, Cloud Foundry, available. Oh, sorry, not available environments. What I'm talking about, I'm thinking that list looks a bit weird. Available region. There we go. The places where we can create. DJ, obviously not had enough coffee. I had a run this morning in the fog. And maybe it's fogged my brain, I don't know. So these are the regions where we can create sub-accounts, okay? AP21 and US 10. And of course, as you know, we can ask for that in JSON format, which is nice. Now, where do we think this JSON output is coming from? Notice that, for example, the clue that sort of first sparked me off down this little path of discovery is the fact that, let's bring that into FX so we can sort of explore it a little bit nicer. The clue that something might be afoot was the fact that the top level property was data centers. Good morning, Nguyen. Right, I'm gonna pronounce this correctly, hopefully. Let me know. Nguyen, let me know if I pronounce that correctly, and tell me if I haven't. Nguyen. And I apologise if I've not pronounced it correctly, but tell me how to pronounce it if it's not that. And Joe Blower. Good morning, Joe. Fantastic. It's great to have you back. So we're just looking at the output of the JSON output of asking via the BTP CLI what regions are available to us, and we got this data centers property. And the data centers property has two things in it. It's got two objects, and those objects represent the data centers, and those are the regions, okay? So the BTP CLI is sort of talking to us from a human perspective in terms of regions. And of course, we've got the regions here, right? Region AP21 and region US 10. But that gave me a clue. And, oh, there we go. That is exactly, it seems, what this API endpoint might give us. Global account allowed data centers, keyword data centers, right? So I would like to explore with you today to see if we can, you know, bundle up the requisite stuff that we need to call this endpoint. Okay, so that's what I suggest we do. Does that sound good? I'm gonna have a bite of my Stormtrooper waffle to get going. Okay, so notice, by the way, here, required scopes, extra SAP name, yeah, whatever, global account region read. But that will come into play when we try and work out how to gather all the things that we need, right? Mud reunited, yes. Joe or John, if you want to explain what mud reunited means to people in the chat, that would be really good. But yes, mud. So yeah, let's do that. So what we'll do is we will have a look as to how does anybody know how we might go about getting what we need to call this API? Let me know. I'm going to have a coffee while you type in the chat. Oh, so somebody's outside then. I thought, what the hell? But no, it's just Michelle. May the force be with you. Nikhil, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, Nikhil. So the answer is, I've got this little link here. I'm quite prepared in some ways, not prepared at all in other ways. In the BTP help portal, let me share that actually, that link here with you. Oh, and Lewis says, JSON response, exactly. The JSON response from these APIs is what we actually see in the BTP CLI, okay? The whole idea in my brain is that the BTP CLI is a client-server thing, and of course the BTP command line interface, the program BTP is the client, and it talks to a server. That's why you have to specify a server endpoint, and that server endpoint resolves the requests from the client by calling appropriate API endpoints in the context of, in the family that is the core services for SAP BTP, right? So we're going to sort of do what the BTP server is going to do for us when we ask for a list of available regions. I'll try and do that anyway. Multi-user dungeons. Well, Ronnie, that's very astute of you to say that. That was partly, it was a play on what MUDs are, exactly what multi-user dungeons are. Exactly. So I think Joe or John is going to tell us. So let's have a look. Getting an access token for SAP Cloud Management Service APIs. Now this is in the context of administration and operations for BTP. And you can do a number of things. You can administer in the cockpit. We don't want to do that. We can administer using the BTP CLI. Cool, we've done that. Or we can administer using APIs. Okay. Is that reflected? Yeah, CLI, there's the CLI, there's the APIs, the cockpit is here. So yeah, it's sort of reflected in the main interface, right? So I'm not going to read through all of this, by the way, with you, because it's quite long. By the way, if we go, let me open that link. Let me copy the link address and open it actually in here. I've got an open pull request on the Open Documentation Initiative to make some tweaks and modifications and some fixes and everything. So that's quite good. Have a look at this. I've deliberately put it in draft mode because I'm not quite ready to finalize this yet. So I'm going to share that thing with you as well. So you can have a look at that, what I've been suggesting is changing, all sorts of things. But the key thing is, what we need to do is to create a service instance for the SAP Cloud Management Service. Okay, the SAP Cloud Management Service is a service. I wonder if we can see it in the marketplace actually. Let's, well, we're not there yet. Okay, let's log on with the CF CLI and have a look. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So let's not use the cockpit at all. How do we know? Well, we know where where's the show hierarchy. The show hierarchy here tells us that we've got our trial account. So let's say BGU target, this is using our little script that we talked about last time, was BTP GUID, target trial, okay? Okay, so now if we say BTP, we can see that we're targeting trial. So if we say BTP list accounts environment instance, we can see that we've got a Cloud Foundry environment instance in this sub-account. But the key thing is format JSON. If we ask for the JSON equivalent of that, we get all sorts of extra information, including, in my opinion, a super ugly but useful stringified JSON in a value of the labels property. Now, today is not about using JQ to sort of parse this out, but we can just see there that the API endpoint that we need for authenticating with CF is api.cf.us10, etc. Okay, so that's what we want. So if we say cf login -a api.cf.us10.hana.ondemand.com. Now my user plus hands on sapdev@gmail.com. Hopefully that's right. And the password, I'm going to say, give me the password of using the pass thing. What's it called? BTP hands on sapdev password. Will that work? Woo! It worked. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now I might have CFS Yes, so let's get rid of that and start again. Okay, so CF delete service CIS central, yes. Oh, false, not yes. Oh, and DSK CIS central SK. There we go. And that one, let me just delete these. These are from the other day, actually. I was showing somebody something. So, Joe Blower, mobile UX and development. I prefer multi-user dungeon. Exactly. So, both Joe and John and I worked together in a team in a consulting company called Bluefin a while back together. It was awesome. And we named our team Mud because of the connotations of multi-user dungeon, but because we sort of backronymed it into mobile UX and development. And yeah, it was a really good time we had there. So Lewis says similar like creating a destination. Is it similar like creating a destination? Actually, Lewis, is what similar? I probably missed what we were talking about, so it's my fault. I apologise. Is what similar to creating a destination? Let me know, and we'll talk about it. So, what we need to do is, according to this documentation here, we need to create a service instance, an instance of the CIS service. So CF marketplace grep CIS. Will that work? I don't know. Have we got a CIS service? Let's see. Oh God, that's ugly, isn't it? There we go. Notice that we have two different plan types. We've got central plan and local plan. And this is where the plans come into play. So the cloud management service plans, okay, if we have a look at this particular API endpoint, regions for global accounts, that's the scope that we need to be able to call this API. And it just so happens, global account region read, it just so happens that global account region read is there. So we know we need to create an instance of the cloud management service called CIS technically with the service plan called central, not local. Okay, so let's do that. Mud is technically no more, though. I think we all have moved. Yes, we all have moved on. In spirit, it's no more. We've all moved on. Yes. Well, maybe in spirit it lives on. Maybe that's the best way to think about it. So if we say CF create service, because what we need to do, what we're doing is we're following. Where is it? We're following these instructions. I've posted a link to these instructions. We're following this and say we need to create a plan, a service instance with that plan. And then we can go and get the credentials from that. It's going to look like that, okay? And then those credentials will allow us to request an access token. And with that access token, we can then call the API. That's the whole idea, right? I'm saying this fast. Maybe I'm going a little bit fast. Let me know, because I want to do all of this in an hour, okay? So let me know if you want me to slow down. Let me know if you want me to speed up. That's also cool. Give me an indication of how easy or hard this is to follow. So what we'll do is we'll create a service CIS, and we'll deliberately sort of do it wrong. It says use let's see, create service, incorrect usage. It requires service plan and service instance. Okay, we need a service plan as well. So CF create service CIS, and then we also need to specify the plan, which is central. Oh, we also need to give it, of course. What do we need to give it now? A name. Now, my convention for my poor brain is I make up the name for the service instance, made up of the service technical name for the service plus the plan name. So CIS central. Why not? In this sort of circumstance, it's okay. CF services, show me the services. There we go. So now we've got that, we can create effectively a service key, a sort of an empty, not an empty binding, but a binding that has nowhere to go. CF create service key for what? For our service call CIS Central. And I'm going to call it CIS Central-SK. Okay, again, really simple naming convention. Good morning, Shravan, and welcome. Welcome. Okay, we've got a service key. So let's say CF service keys CIS Central. Just check. Getting keys. There it is. This is another one of those. I have a sort of a love-hate is maybe too strong, but a love-hate relationship with CF because it also is very verbose, right? I know you're getting the keys for that service instance because I've just asked you to do that, so don't tell me. And what's this nonsense here with the new line? And what's this thing here with the heading? I don't need it. Just give me the thing in blue. I know there's a CF API with curl, CF curl, but that is just so against the Unix philosophy. That is so against good developer and DevOps UX. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, rant over. So now we've got the service key. Let's grab it. Okay, so CF service key, CIS Central SK. Let's have a look. What does that do? That just spits it out. Okay. Unfortunately, if we have a look here, it spits it out with more nonsense, getting, really helpful not, and a new line as well. So what we'll do is we'll pipe that into something that will clean this nonsense up. So we've just got the JSON, okay, and put that JSON into a file, okay, just get the service key into a file, okay. So CF's, let's just new screen, clear screen, pipe it into the wonderful, very useful for all this nonsense, just lines 1 and 2, just delete. Okay, and pipe it into service key. Oh, let's call it CIS Central service key.json. And Shravan said, "Oh, I thought I saw another chat there." There we go. There we go. So we got now FX CIS Central service key, and that service key has all sorts of information in it, and that is also reflected in this example service key here. The really interesting thing is that it's not only got the UAA stuff, the authentication stuff, the normal client ID and the client secret and the URL, which will need to request a token, but also it has all these different endpoints. And look at this. Well, in fact, let's look at it in reality. Endpoints, account service URL, cloud automation URL, entitlement service URL, event service URL, blah, 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 blah. Where have we seen these before? We've seen these in here, account service URL, entitlement service, event service, provisioning service, resource. So all these different URLs in here are the sort of the starting point for the cluster of APIs or API endpoints for that particular service, the entitlement service. So what we're going to need to do, if we want to call something in the entitlements service, one of these things here, which we do, right? We need to prefix, we've got the relative URL for the API endpoint, /entitlement /v1 /global accounts allowed data centers. We stick that on the end of that one, entitlement service URL, right? Makes sense. And we've also got the UAA thing here. So we've got the client ID, the client secret. I'm going to delete this in a minute anyway, so there's no point in trying to copy this. And there we go. So we'll do that, right? So we've got that in a file. Now, what do we need to do? What we need to do, according to this thing here, is we need to request an access token. And if you read this documentation right from the start here, it talks about the password grant, okay? And it's the password grant which is used to protect these the entitlement service APIs, and I think other APIs in this sort of a whole area as well. Okay, so I know what I keep looking down there and seeing something move. I think it's more and more chat. It's actually just me, active in the video. I need a better solution for this. Anyway. So why don't we now have a look what we need to do? Let's go down here for a second. And what it's telling us to do is we need, right, this thing here. We need to send a post request. Let me make that a little bit bigger. we need to send a post request to the UAA URL endpoint. The UAA URL endpoint, right? That is use the UAA is this one here, is the URL property inside the UAA object, okay, in our JSON, in our service key, right? And the client secret's the client secret, and the client ID is the client ID. So how would we get that? Very simply, right? JQ, give me the raw version, UAA.client ID inside CIS Central. There we go. There it is. And we could do the same sort of thing as, you know, for example, URL. There. Okay, so that's how we get this stuff quite easily and sort of programmatically. So we're going to do that. But in what context do we need to do that? Well, we need to do it in the context of making an HTTP request, like we said, to this endpoint /auth /token. Give me a token. What type of token, or what type of grant type? The password grant type. How do we sort of authenticate that? We give the client ID and the client secret as the user and the password, respectively. Okay, and we can just use the normal -u or -user in curl, which will then concatenate those two together with a well, it will join them together with a colon, and then base64 encode that. That's the basic authentication header, right? But we also have to pass some parameters. We need to, as well as the grant type parameter, we also need to pass our own username, which is our email, and our own password. Okay. Now we covered this last year actually. The password grant. Does anybody know? Does anybody know anything interesting about the password grant? Where is it? Where is it? Let me go here, because you might be interested in it. In the archives, I've archived this virtual event. This is something that Antonio and I created. But this thing here, let me put that there. This thing tells you all about the different API resources, understanding OAuth 2.0 at a higher level, and that takes you through all the different types of roles in OAuth, and also the different types of grant types somewhere. Here we go. Authorization code grant type, client credentials grant type, implicit grant type, and resource owner password credentials grant type, which is a bit of a mouthful. That's why it's shortened normally to password grant type. So this is the grant type that we're using, because we have to use it, because that's the grant type that protects these API endpoint resources. So let me know if you know what the interesting thing about this grant type is. So where were we? Here we go. So we want to sort of get ready and make this call to get an access token. So let's do that. It's 8:32. We'll do it. Right? Is this the direction we want to go with this? By the way, let me know. So let's start. Yeah, let's do it in here. Let's do it in this thing here. Actually, make dear hands-on SAP dev. That'll do. Make dear hands-on SAP dev, and let's move this CIS Central into there. So all we've got is that, right? That's the only file we've got in there. So it's in a nice and clean list. There we go. So now, get token. I should get rid of this U from the template. I don't like that. So let's say, let's call that there like that, and we'll call that get token, and we'll say curl, right? And the URL, let's just do this sort of manually here. URL is going to be something. Should we just do it all in line? Yeah, we'll do it all in line. URL is going to be, no, we'll do it like this. Local, lolcat, local, can you tell I'm making this up? Local, URL equals JQ minus R Well, actually, what could we do this? Tell you what, get value local. Here we go. Let's have a little function. Local property equals 1. Pass in a property, and then just return JQ minus R dot property. How about that? Let's just see if we can do that, right? And just get rid of that for a second and get rid of that. And we'll say here, get value of the UAA.URL property. Let's just do that. And then we'll say here, list get token, and then call it when it changes. We'll do that there. Okay, so let's just do that. Ooh, there we go. Yep, that there. Run that. So it's nothing happening yet because there's nothing doing. Now if I save that, what's going to... what a fool. We also need to specify the CIS central sk.json file, don't we? Right. Let's try that again. There we go. So we could say, for example, here, I'm just making this up, UA.client ID. Perfect. Okay, so now we can say get token curl URL, and it's going to be get value of what's it called? Let's go and have a look. In fact, fx cis endpoints dot entitlement service URL. Okay, cool. Endpoints dot entitlement. Is it entitlement service URL? Chris.url. There we go. Let's try that. But also, we'll just try that there as well, right? Endpoints.entitlement service URL. Just see if that prints out the right thing. Yes, it does. Okay, cool. So the URL is now going to be followed by OAuth token, right? That's what token. That's what we need, isn't it? OAuth token. Okay, so far so good. Helmut have to leave. We'll watch the rest later. Thanks so far. It was very interesting. Thank you, Helmut, and have a great day and Friday and weekend and everything. Okay, cool. So we got that. What we also need, of course, is, what else do we need? We need the content type, okay? Header, content type, application, this is an old one, www.form.url encoded, right? That's that one there, right? Keep going there. We also need to specify the user. Also, what I like to do is always use location. Sometimes you get redirected. So let's say follow the redirect with location, which is capital L, dash capital L. Then we can also say user get value, what is it? UAA.client ID. Get value UAA.client secret, right? This is what we're trying to do. Yep. Yep. Okay. So that takes care of that bit. Now, we also want data grant type equals password, right? And we also want data username equals and password equals. Okay, so username equals, and now we'll pass the usernames in. So we'll say local username equals 1, local password equals 2, and we'll get those here, right? We'll say read minus rp prompt username local username password, and then we'll also have a password, but we also want that secret. Okay, What's going on there? Why is this is actually an end quote, but due to next character it looks suspect. What? What are you talking about? That should be right. Let's just put a. Does that make any sense? What? That looks all right, doesn't it? Oh, it's because here, right? It's because of that. There we go. Username appears unused, but now we're going to say get token username password. Let's pass those there, right? Username equals username, which is now grabbed from the one, and also password there. Now, but what we need to do is URL encodings, because the username has got an @ sign in it, you know, because it's an email address. And also the password might have some weird things in, so let's URL encode that as well, right? The grant type equals password is fine. So that's it. I think that's it, isn't it? Okay. Grant type client. Right. Okay. If you pass any data, curl will use the post method implicitly. So we don't need to explicitly state that we want post, like here. Shall we try it? What's going to happen. So let's run it. Get token username q macro plus hands on sapdev@gmail.com. Oh, get value end what? Could not resolve host null. Ooh, okay. Get value endpoints. Is that not working? What's going on? Could not resolve host null. Let's just go here and say echo that. That'll do. Let's save that now. Okay, let's do that again. Get token. We don't need the username and password. Oh, null. Oh, what? So what is? Okay. Endpoints entitlement service.url. .url. I typed it in wrong, didn't I? Is somebody telling me that? No. There. Can you see what I've done? What an idiot. Underscore. Let's try that now. See if that works. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, fine. Oh, look. My mouse cursor, the pointer, is right over the dot, so I didn't see it. Look. Whoop. There. There we go. So that's fine. Wow, okay. That was exciting and scary at the same time. So, let's run it now. Get token. Tell you what we'll do. Q macro plus hands on sapdev@gmail.com. What's going on? What am I not doing? What else am I not doing? Tell you what we'll do. We'll say verbose, first of all. Let's try that. And also, I'm just going to say here, just save typing, right? Username equals qmacro plus hands on sapdev@gmail.com. Okay, main, fine. Ooh. 404 not found. What? I'm jumping ahead, aren't I? You know what I've done wrong? Can anybody tell me what I've done wrong? I'm an idiot. I'm getting one step ahead of myself. What I'm doing, I suppose this is illustrative, helpful. What I'm doing is I'm using this entitlement service URL endpoint where I should be, but I'm asking for a token. I'm not ready to call that yet. I need to ask for a token first, so I need to use this URL here. What a fool. There we go. So this is not endpoints.thingy. It's UAA.URL, isn't it? Isn't it? Let's try that now. There we go. We get some stuff. We get some stuff. Okay. Okay. So now let's get rid of the verbose and put it. Actually, no, that'll do. Let's get rid of this. Read. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Nice and generic now. Let's put it. That's it. We've edited that now. So let's do that again. Get token, and we'll pipe the output into token.json. Okay. Username qmacro plus what is it called? handsonsapdev@gmail.com. Okay, so now what have we got? Have we got anything in token? Yes, we have. In fact, JQ. IJQ token. I did that last time. IJQ token. Keys. Let's look at the keys. There we go. There. We got all these different things. For example, expires in 43,200 seconds, which is 12 hours. Remember that? Rings a bell? Okay. So we've got a token. So now all we need to do is make the call with that token, isn't it? Isn't it? Should we try that now? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, why not? Okay, let's do that. New script, call API. Okay, I need to get rid of that. We don't need this thing here. We'll just say here okay, now, so we want the token, local token. Let's call it what it is, which is an access token, isn't it? No, let's just call it token. Local token, token equals JQ raw, what's it called? FX token, access token. It's called access token, isn't it? Right? Access token. Okay. And then we say curl. What's it called? Location. Maybe we'll get redirected, so we'll do that. The URL is now. Hold on. Token equals access token from the token.json, right? And we also need the endpoint. Endpoint, yeah, that'll do. Endpoint, and we'll say endpoint equals. Why is it dedented? That endpoint equals JQ minus R dot endpoints dot entitlement service URL. Is that what it was? Echo token endpoint. Let's just see if that works, shall we? Let's do it like that. Let's keep going. I do like this enter thing. List, get the call API, enter, run it, clear screen, and call the thing that was changed. Oh, main, what? There we go. Why is it not working? Call API. What? Oh, it's this thing. Oh, what a fool! It's waiting for some standard in to read from. So it's a CIS central sk.json, is it? There we go. There we go. There's the token, and there's the endpoint URL. Okay, we're on something. I'm getting too excited. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. There we go. There. Now. What we need to do is say curl location, levitation. Who knows what that was? Endpoint. And then, what do we want? We want this, entitlements, v1 global accounts. Can we copy that? Why can't we copy that? That's a bit annoying, isn't it? All right, entitlements v1. V1, what's it called again? Global account allowed data centers. Global account allowed data centers. US spelling. Centers. Okay. And what do we need? We need header authorization bearer. We need to bearer token, you see, so we need to specify that, which is token. And that should be all we need, right? Should we try that? Yeah, let's save that. Call API. There we go. But the really cool thing is, I'm amazed that worked. The really cool thing is the following. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller for a second. If we have a BTP format JSON, no, hold on, let's do this first. List accounts of available regions, but we will put, just remind ourselves of what it looks like first in reality, human readable, right? There. But if we now ask for format JSON, if we look at the JSON format, we get that. Now, make that a little bit smaller so it sort of fits. I want the same pattern, you see. Let's just do that on the screen. There we go. Okay, so it's sort of there. Let me know if it's too small, but hopefully it's okay, just for this demonstration. Because the really cool thing is, check this out. If we call the API, let's remind ourselves that that API call is calling this endpoint, this API endpoint in the entitlement service, which is part of the core services for SAP BTP, using the cloud management service. Yeah. If we run this, tell you what we'll do here as well. We'll prettify it, colorify it at least, by piping into JQ. And we'll do the where is it? Don't need that either. Yeah, and we'll do the same in fact, just quiet, no, silent, to stop that sort of progress bar thing. Should we do it? Ready? Oops. Call. What's going on? Ah! Look, it's the same. And why is it the same? Well, it's the same apart from this okay and this empty line, but that's being dealt with. It's the same. And why is it the same? It's because this entitlement service API endpoint is exactly the endpoint that's being used, being called for you super conveniently by the BTP CLI server end when you do BTP list accounts available regions in JSON format. That's what's happening. And that's how we get access to it. So there we go. I'm quite pleased that we got this done in an hour. I hope that wasn't too fast. Let me know in the comments right now. Was that helpful? Is that something you're going to sort of explore on your own as well? Let me know. And while you're typing in that, while you're answering that question, I will say next week. Oh, yes. Next week, I'm thinking, let me know, I'm thinking of starting to go through, let me just share this with you as well, starting to go through this 3-part series. I've posted the first part of this 3-part series, this blog post, all about dev containers and making one's sort of user experience from a tutorial perspective. This is purely my view on things. Making it a little bit better if you want to get started with a tutorial straight away. The whole idea is that I want to think about how we can create a definition of an image from which you can create a container to use with VS Code that's got all the prerequisites for a certain task or a certain learning activity already in there for you. So the example I'm using right now is, a tutorial. It's got lots of prerequisites, install this, install that, get this set up, get that set up. Instead of doing all that, you just start with a point to a certain container. This has got it all in for you. So this is the first post. I've got the second post. Okay, Niels, you'll explore that. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let me know. By the way, developer experience is so important nowadays. It is very instructive. Thank you, Daniel. Welcome, Daniel, as well. And Ronnie, dev containers are amazing. Great topic. And Hussein, I'll check and try to write a script. Hussein, good man. Try and write some scripts. You can see, I'm writing them randomly, and I can do it, so anybody can do it. I'm an idiot. Now, would you all like, 4 minutes left, would you all like first access to part 2 of this, which I've already got? Shall I publish it? I've got it available. Shall I publish it? Live on the stream with you. It'd be quite cool, wouldn't it, to sort of give you viewers, live viewers, early access to upcoming blog posts. Maybe I'm sort of, blowing smoke at my elbow, but I don't know. It'd be quite nice to be able to give you something that other people don't have, right? Apart from stickers. John Murray, that was really useful, and I'd definitely love to see more on dev containers. Right, okay, so shall I do it? Manage my blog posts. There we go. I've got part 2 and part 3 already. Shall I make part 2 available and give it for you now? Let me know. Let me know. Or shall I wait till Monday? Monday. What do you think? Do you want it now? You decide. Yeah, you decide. And while you're deciding, I'll say thank you so much for joining. And yes, I'll see you next Friday. But yeah, let me know before you go. Put a comment in as to whether I should publish this second part today, right now, or whether I should wait till Monday. And I'll have a biscuit. Yeah, Hussein, if you want the, give me a shout. If you want the where is it actually? Where is it? Good reading content for the weekend. Niels, that's a very good point. Good reading content for the weekend. Okay, cool. I will publish it. Edit. What do I do? Here we go. Edit. Bong, bong, bong. Let's go down the bottom. Publish. Do it. It's done. Let me put the link in the chat for you. There we go. So have a wonderful weekend. Hope you enjoy it. I've not sort of read the final draft of this, Niels, but so I'll read it now. I better read it now, but should be okay. Should be understandable, hopefully. So there we go. And I'll publish this part 3 sort of early next week. I'm away on Monday, so I'll publish it on Tuesday. So until then, until next Friday, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining and taking part. And yeah, happy API calling. Bye for now.